The student of the month tonight. Let's see.
We actually have a couple, we're gonna say, I'll share their names, but they're gonna go into come to do that we can give them accolades in person.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I always like that. So
Me too.
nice to see.
I apologize. I didn't hear.
We only have 6 members here. There's 12 on, but three.
You said there's 6 on, but you said,
There's 12 altogether,
yeah,
but that's mostly us office staff.
oh,
Almost
okay.
6 of them are actual workers.
Just to update everyone, it's 6:57. We do need one more person for a forum.
We have our own workers.
Oh, we have it?
It's just like this here.
I misspoke. We're good to go in a couple minutes. He's back.
Mr. Shingleton, did you have something to say?
No, just,
Okay.
coming in.
We're just saying hello, right? I think Ms. Shackern, did you unmute yourself, Ms. Shackern?
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My watch is telling me it's 7 o'clock, or does anyone have any objection if we begin? Assuming you're hearing me and there is no objection, at this point in time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll begin the meeting by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and observing a moment of silent meditation. At this point, I'll start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please, Mrs. Lamenza.
Mr. Conrad,
Here?
Ms. Daniels Wells,
Here.
Mr. Holly,
Here.
Mr. Harrison,
Here.
Mr. Jacobs,
Here.
Mrs. McDonald, Mrs. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Perry,
Here.
Mr. Peterson,
Here.
Mr. Taylor, and Mr. Zeitz.
Here.
It looks like somebody just mentioned that they're still in the waiting room.
Yeah, Mrs. McDonald is in the waiting room.
So this is Mr. Zeitz. Is Mr. Sack on the call? Brian said he was gonna try to attend. I'm not sure if that's the number that you're seeing, and if he could be an active listener, or does he need to hang up?
He could stay in as an attendee and listen. Is that what you were asking, Mr. Zeitz?
Yeah, I can't. I'm on the phone. I'm not on Zoom. I've been having some internet concerns, so I called in. I don't even know if he's on, but he did tell me yesterday that he was gonna log in. So I don't know if that's him in the waiting room or not.
No, it was Miss McDonald, I believe, but Mr. Sack is here.
Okay, with that in mind, I trust we're all snug as a bug in a rug or wherever we're at on this chilly evening. And Dr. Heiler, would you please, do we have anyone that would like to, any public to be heard?
We have no public registered.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lamenza. And Dr. Heiler, do you have a director's report for us?
I certainly do. Good
Thank
evening. Thank you. Welcome to tonight's JOC regular meeting. Thank you all for attending. I'd like to welcome our alternate, Mrs. Joe McDonald from South Butler County. Thank you for being here. Mr. Mark Taylor will fill Mrs. Heather Scott's JOC member term. Mrs. Scott will be the Slippery Rock alternate. The outstanding students of the month who will attend at a later JOC meeting, we'd like to see them in person and give them their accolades in person. January is Isabella Stillhaller. She's a collision repair student. Mr. Peters is her teacher. She's a senior from Park City. And for February is Rebecca Rogers. She's a sports medicine student. Dr. Hyman is her teacher, and she's a junior from South Butler County. So we do have some updates to the agenda. Exhibit 9, field trips. Exhibit 12A, Quest Tech. Exhibit 12B, articulation. Exhibit 12C and 12D, supplemental school nurse and teacher, and the bill list. Director's newsletter is Exhibit 1. Enrollment report is Exhibit 2. Attendance chart is Exhibit 3. Media is Exhibit 4. We did have some media. Ford Tech Drive newsletter from December 17th. Student Day, Butler County ABTS. It was really nice. It was an event here. PCT today on December 17th. Penn College hosts its first ever CTE diesel competition. Some of our students participated in that. Butler Eagle, December 22nd. VOTEC students win and repair competition. Also good news. Also December 22nd, VOTEC gets grant for equipment. We were in the paper for that. Butler Eagle SOAR, which many of the schools are participating in SOAR. Teachers Corner, a very nice story there. Penn College CTE diesel competition results. Mike Shea, a heavy equipment student, Mr. Rierica's teacher. He's a junior Butler. He placed first in trailer preventative maintenance. And Niven Hay, heavy equipment student, again, Mr. Rierica's the teacher. Senior Butler placed third in differentials. Notice that competition I mentioned earlier. They had a great time. They learned a lot. They got to see Penn College of Technology. Skills USA District 10 composition results are shown in Exhibit 5. Adult Education Customized Job Training Program is Exhibit 6. National Technical Honor Society is Exhibit 7. There are 35 students from the Health Assistant and Sports Medicine programs preparing for the PA COSA State Leadership Conference competition. They're studying, practicing their skills, and they are raising funds. They're preparing for a variety of skills, leadership competition, leadership team efforts, individual and team, and there's also some testing events. Broken down by school, Butler has 25 students participating, Carm City 3, Montauk 1, Seneca Valley 1, Slippery Rock 3, and South Butler County 2, and this does evolve and change as students want to join into the competitive nature of parts of the club. Health assistant and sports medicine students received the Butler County Healthcare Student Recognition Award by the Butler County Healthcare Consortium. That was something that just happened a couple weeks ago. Brittany Chrisman, health assistant student, Mrs. Blank, and Mrs. Sounder is her teacher. She's a senior from Carn City, and she actually was awarded last year through Penn HOSA. She's an amazing student, as is Madison Delhart, sports medicine student. Dr. Hyman's her teacher. She's a senior from South Butler County. So we do have our 2022 awards program that we are planning. Ashley is collecting JSC donations for student awards. The IRS standard mileage rate for 2022 is 58.5 cents per mile. We do have a field trip update. The previously approved Skills USA D10 competitions were held on the 13th, January 13th, 14th, and 21st. One of those dates changed. They changed the date on the 21st. So we want to give you the updates. School was closed due to inclement weather today. And we do not have a makeup day because we were able to utilize remote learning. The previously approved March 3rd JOC meeting has been moved to March 10th. And that is due to an event that's happening on March 3rd, that there's a distinguished educator banquet that one of our superintendents in the county has won, and that's Dr. Tracy Vitale from Seneca Valley. Congratulations to her. And also Slippery Rock Board of Directors are winning an award that night too on March 3rd. Congratulations, Slippery Rock. So 1 week later, on March 10th, is whenever we chose to change that date. And I did speak to Mr. Conrad about that. Committee of the whole meeting was held this evening at 6 p.m. to review the proposed budget. And again, the next JOC meeting is March 10th, 2022 at 7 p.m. And I know that was a long director's report, but I'm not done with that. Mr. Conrad, I'm complete, and now back to you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Heiler. I'm going to be asking a motion and a second to approve the director's report. If you would be so kind as whenever you make your motion, tell us your name so that it's easier to record for Mrs. Lamenza. But anyway, at this point in time, I'd like to have a motion and a second to approve the director's report.
So moved, Zeiss.
Thank you.
Second, Peterson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. And do we have any further discussion or questions regarding the items in Dr. Heiler's report? Okay, with that, may I please have all in favor say aye?
Aye.
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 And all opposed, nay? Motion passes. Thank you all very much. Moving on to the meeting minutes and Exhibit 8. As part of your handout, may I please have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved, Miller, Deborah.
Second,
Thank
Bill.
you. And thank you, Bill. Any further questions or comments regarding the meeting minutes from December the 16th? Alrighty then, all in favor say aye, please. Aye.
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 All opposed, nay? Motion passes. Thank you all very much. Moving on to new business. We have the field trip request as shown in Exhibit 9. We have the donations of a excavator bucket. We have requests to bid.
We lost your audio.
Mr. Conrad, we can't hear you. Yeah, your audio disappeared. It looks like doesn't look like you're muted, but you are.
He got a call from the district telling them that tomorrow they canceled school, and that's what interrupted him.
Yeah. Maybe mute yourself and unmute yourself. Sometimes that works.
We can't hear you still.
Yeah, why don't I could even call your cell phone real quick.
How about if he logs off and logs back on?
Yeah, Mr. Conrad, why don't do you mind jumping off and back on, and we'll see if that works. We'll wait for you.
I'm gonna
Obviously.
adjust my shared screen too, since it's the panel on the right.
I was successfully able to either get them across the top, and then you lose all that space. Oh, you want me?
Should I stop sharing?
I can move these ones because that's what's showing. Right?
Yeah, to the left, so they can see the rest of the. Apologies.
Hi, it's me. I was gonna say you can't ignore me because I can see you. Do you mind hanging up real quick, jumping off real quick and just coming back onto the meeting? Yeah. I can hear you on the phone. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Let's see if everyone can hear you.
I hear crickets.
No squealer feedback?
No.
It's a lot of feedback.
How about now?
Echo.
Still an echo?
I'll tell you what, let me mute my mic now. Is that any better?
Yeah, it is.
Appears
It
to be, yes.
Can they hear?
Can you?
Okay, very good. Basically, I muted the computer audio. So if there's no squealer feedback, we can continue. Okay. Moving on to new business. We have the field trip request in Exhibit 9. We have the donations of a 36-inch wide excavator bucket. We also have the request to bid for supplies for the 22-23 year. We also have the federal and state funding proposals for the 22-23 school year. We have a NOCTI, an alternative test, to participate in the PA Department of Education National the NOCTI test. Then we have the approval of scrapping the following vehicles of the, well, I think There's 6 of them, so I'm not going to mention them. Then we also have the tuition student from Elwood City to approve. We also have bid awards for machining technology and welding, as outlined in Exhibit 11. We have the MIU IVE rate as shown in Exhibit 12. We also have the letter of understanding with Questec in Exhibit 12A, and we have the articulation agreement with the KML Carpenters Apprenticeship and Training Fund in Exhibit 12B. And with that, may I please have a motion and a second to approve those items?
So moved, McDonald.
Second, Peterson.
Thank you so much. Any further questions or comments regarding the details of those items?
Mr. Conrad, I wonder if I could just ask, I know we went through Quest Tech last time, but I wonder if Dr. Heiler could let us know if there's been any changes or anything significant about our letter of understanding with Quest Tech.
There's absolutely nothing different from the last time. We did get 2 other businesses to give us quotes. And one was $16,600. The other one was, I believe, $8,000. And we did do an actual RFP, even though for something like this as a service, it does not require formal bidding, but we still did. And we did not get anything back at that time. We did get the individuals who offered 3 of the quotes from the first time. 2 of them said, what you're asking for, the way you're reporting, is a little bit not cumbersome, but it would be something that would be outrageously expensive and take months and months and months. They did not come back with an official proposal for that RFP. But looking at all the 3 that came back to us the first time around, this was the one that was the most educationally sound. And it is of no cost to do the review. And there is no agreement or anything in there stating that you have to continue with the services with us. This is a simple review.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, roll call, please, Mrs. Amenza.
Mrs. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Zeitz,
Yes.
Mr. Conrad,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels Wells,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
and Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
Thank you all so very much. Moving on to the next item, regarding personnel, we have the hiring of substitute teachers, as shown in Exhibit 12C, of Ms. Carlson and Derek Aliberte. We have the hiring of a substitute supplemental school nurse, as shown in 12D, of Ms. Carlson. We also have recommending a hiring of a adult education teacher for Mr. Klaus for machining technology. May I please have a motion and a second to approve those items?
So moved, Miller.
Thank you.
Second, Taylor.
Thank you so very much. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding those items? Okay, upon hearing none, roll call please, Mrs. Amenza.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Zeitz,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Conrad,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels Wells,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mrs. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
and Mr. Holly.
Yes.
Thank you all so very much. The motion passes. Moving on to finance, we have the financial reports contained in Exhibit 13. We have the bill list as shown in Exhibit 14. We have the budget transfers as shown in Exhibit 15. And then we have the budget ballots, which is based on the 6 o'clock meeting and the budget presentation of Dr. Heiler earlier this evening. Excuse me, I was getting all tangled. But anyway, may I please have a motion and a second to approve those items?
So moved, Bill.
Second,
Peterson.
McDonald.
Justin.
Sorry.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Any further discussion or questions regarding those items? Okay, upon hearing none, roll call please, Mrs. Linda.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
Mrs. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Mr. Conrad,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels Wells,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Zeitz,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
and Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you all so very much. Just as an item of reminder for the newer folks on the JOC, I'd like to share with you that the approval of the budget ballots, as we just approved in item 4, is really the first step in the budget approval process. The second step will involve a budget presentation by Dr. Heiler to each of your home school boards, and then each of the school boards will vote on that budget that has to pass in 5 of the 7 districts. Also, there's yet a third step, which some people forget about, in that each individual board member will vote a paper ballot to approve that budget. And again, it has to pass by the majority of the board members. And please don't forget about that. It's a 3-step process to make sure we really want what we want. But and before we adjourn, does anyone else have any questions or comments or concerns? Okay, if that on hearing none, I would ask for a motion in a second to.
Justin, so forth.
Oops, I'm sorry, did someone say something?
Justin Miller, so forth.
Oh, thank you. And a second?
Second, McDonald.
Thank you very much. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for your tolerance and patience regarding this computer meeting, and looking forward to seeing you all on March the 10th.
Good night, all.
Good night.